Well, good day, everybody. Bill O'Leary, and I'm coming to you live as part of our Thirsty Thursday series. And a quick intro as to what it's all about. It's a series. I go live every Thursday for the most part, talk about a topic I run across in uh, my business. I'm an attorney, and in my practice, focus on estate planning, wills and trust, and elder law, and probate and trust administration. Legacy Planning Law Group in Jacksonville, Florida. So, if you are thirsting for knowledge, you've come to the right place. Interesting topic because it actually came up about a week ago in a conversation that I had, and it got me to thinking. Hoarding in older adults, and we've all heard it, maybe heard of it, maybe we've seen it. What is it, and is it actually sort of a mental condition? Hoarding disorder. What is it all about? So, you've heard of hoarding. You may wonder, is there such a thing as hoarding disorder? Well, there is. It is a real thing. It was first established as sort of a standalone, mental health diagnosis about a decade or so ago. And older adults, the studies show, are three times as likely as younger people to be hoarders and to have this condition. So, what is hoarding? Well, certainly an excessive accumulation of possessions can indicate hoarding, be a good indicator. And a lot of times, hoarding leads to really a level of clutter that really makes it hard for those that are affected by the condition to use and maintain their houses. Now, before I go any further, let me differentiate hoarding from somebody who's just a collector, and there is a difference. The difference is collectors, they tend to focus on one or maybe two specific items which they collect and they're proud to display. But compare that with hoarders, they gather and accumulate everything that they can. There's a variety of possessions that they gather, and gathering too much really can be a source of embarrassment. They can, again, as I said, they can struggle to keep their homes clean and keep their homes accessible. So hoarding, and a lot of times it affects in a negative way a person's quality of life because it can lead to things like isolation, loneliness, and housing problems. So if you think about it, it makes common sense. When objects, possessions crowd a home, living conditions can be unusable and unsafe. And finding things in a cluttered environment is often very difficult. Again, kind of makes sense. And this creates problems with locating important documents. Let's say important documents that might be necessary for this, that, or the other. Now, as items pile up, as I said, the first impact tends to be the home and how they're able to use and navigate the home. A recent study showed this really, really interesting. Hoarders, 70% found it difficult to even sit on their couch. 50% found it difficult to get into their kitchen just to make food. Now, aging kind of exacerbates hoarding because as we age, we have changes with vision and maybe cognitive conditions, energy levels go down, as well as chronic health problems. And what that does is, again, as I say, exacerbates. It makes hoarding, frankly, more hazardous. Think about it. A cluttered home can put a senior at an increased risk for a fall, and maybe they get to the point where they can't use the walker or wheelchair that they really need to use. They can't use that to navigate through the house. Also, what they find is that mental problems and physical health problems often underlie a behavior, a hoarding behavior, I should say, hoarding. So there are signs of hoarding, but often there's an underlying condition. About two-thirds of people with hoarding disorder, they have at least one other chronic condition and severe medical condition, as well as a psychiatric condition. So this hoarding, again, as I say, it can be reflective of another mental health disorder, maybe uh, things like obsessive compulsive disorder, called OCD for short, schizophrenia, anxiety, depression, and so forth. A lot of people with hoarding, they struggle. Once you point it out to them, they kind of find it difficult to see the negative effect on their lives. They're in denial. And if you start the process with them of decluttering, that often is a shock to the system. It's a very distressing experience. And that then could lead to them distrusting you because you're giving them advice and a recommendation that they don't want to take. Now, there is help out there. There are treatment options, what's called cognitive behavioral therapy, support groups, and workshops. And frankly, is even a medication option. But unfortunately, people with hoarding disorder and their loved ones a lot of times have trouble finding healthcare providers who actually specialize in this disorder, given how new the diagnosis is. Again, about a decade old. So let's talk about, finally, I want to talk about, okay, so you have a hoarder in the family. How do you approach them? Okay. How do you talk to them? Approach them with empathy. Start by expressing your concern for their well-being rather than focusing on the clutter itself. So use I statements like, I am worried about you staying safe. And that way you won't come across as accusatory. Encourage open dialogue. Ask, gee, how do you feel about your living space? Do your best to listen and to listen actively. Be an active listener. Affirm or validate their feelings. And again, just show compassion. So as you do that, just say, you're here for them. You're going to offer support. You're going to suggest professional help, emphasizing with them recovery is possible. Recovery can be done. Okay. But from your standpoint, patience, and I know it's hard. Patience is the key. It's going to take time and it's going to take understanding. And you also may want to educate yourself on this disorder, on hoarding disorder. And so what you'll discover is having it really isn't a choice. It's sort of a mental condition. So again, avoid placing the blame on your loved one for the hoarding activities that they do. Keep in mind, cleaning up. So let's say you have a hoarder in the family and you come in behind them and clean up. That can cause them great distress. It may seem counterintuitive. It can really distress them. So expressing frustration or anger with a loved one who has this hoarding disorder really can backfire. If you'd like to know a little bit more about this hoarding disorder in older adults and really especially how to sort of interact with your older loved ones to help them sort of move in that other direction of decluttering and maybe how we can help, we'd love to talk to you. So we invite you to schedule a free 15-minute discovery call with my firm and with my team. Scheduling is easy. If you're on the website, Legacy Planning Law Group, there's a book you free call button. If you're watching this video on YouTube, just click on the link in this video that's popping up. It takes you to our booking calendar. Both ways take you to our booking calendar. Pick a time that works for you. Again, this discovery call is free. I'm going to give another talk next Thursday at about this same time, okay, as part of our Thirsty Thursdays series. So if you're thirsting for knowledge, we'll quench your thirst. So I'm going to sign off for now. Bill O'Leary, go make it a great day and make it a better world.